Okay, people. So, checked out a new indie. Oh, it's like a psychological drama, right? Horror-esque. It's called When I Consume You. You it is the third film from director Perry Blackshear, who also wrote the piece. Okay, he produced it as well, along with MacLeod Andrews, Evan Dumouchel, Libby Ewing, and Lizzie Goodman is an associate producer on it. Mitch Bain handles the music. Blackshear also does the cinematography. Visual effects from Shane Winter. Stunts are Nate DeLong, Mitchell McCoy, and Kerry Wong. Editorial department is Or Ben David and Kevin Tran, and Bennett Jenishk also handles some of the music. Our cast, well, we've got the Shaw siblings. There is Daphne, played by Libby Ewing, and Wilson, played by Evan Dumouchel. There is David Castile, played by MacLeod Andrews. There's Annette, played by Margaret Ian Drake. Danny, played by Claire Sibils. There's Jim Calvinio, played by Mick Casole. There's the physician's assistant, played by Adam Stovall. Psychologist, played by Kira Jones. We've also got Laura, played by Angela Bature. Uh, there's Wolfpack Knuckles, played by Robert Cunniff. Wolfpack Donny, played by Maurizio Ferringo. There's V, played by Chelsea Ingram. Diane, played by Justin Sky. There's Alec, played by Mark Jude Sullivan. Big Ben, played by Jeremy Storm. Bruno, played by David Stevens. Bennett, played by Jeff Mazzilio. Moore, played by Josh Moore. James, played by Ross McKinnon. And yeah, that's it. All right, that's it. So the gist of the flick is this: a woman and her brother seek revenge against a mysterious stalker. All right, so seems like a very simple thing. This is not a very simple movie, right? It opens up and we've got this woman in a bathroom and just there's a lot happening. It looks like she's fighting someone, right? There's a struggle, but it's hard to really tell. Next, we see her kind of coughing up blood into the sink, right? She's talking to someone saying she'll be right out, and then she gets into the shower, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck is happening here, right? I think one of the things that you kind of wonder about the film, um, if it's like drug addiction, someone fighting the demons, you know what I mean? Like psychosis, just all of this kind of stuff, right? So we have this, then we see her with her brother, right? Um, we find out some things, she wants to adopt, there's trouble, right? We're getting these flashbacks, like these time shifts. And so you're trying to think, what is happening? Where is this going? And then everything gets turned on its head. Literally. Like, I don't think you can, guess where this film goes, right? That was the crazy thing. When yeah, this event happens, kind of catches you off guard because you're not expecting it, right? You would not, especially with the way it gets built up, right? You're not expecting this thing to happen, which is kind of great, because now it's just like I have no clue where this is going. I have no clue what's going to happen. If this thing happened, what else could be there? You know what I mean? That was the big thing here. You know what I mean? That thing everyone loved about Game of Thrones at the start, right? Anyone could die. Anything could happen. And you get that sense here. Like, what is going on? So yeah, just all all this manner of craziness is going down, and we see events unfold. But again, there are these jump back in times, right? We're getting glimpses of things that have led up to this moment, right? And some of it adds a little clarity. Some of it adds even more intrigue. So you're watching, trying to fathom, right? Where is this going, right? These hallucinations, is this real? All of this, you're pondering, right? And I think, I think, right, you hate the brother. Like, the brother, man. It's just, or it kind of, there feels like there's a lot of inaction, right? Or when people say I'm gonna do this, but then they don't, like they don't really, or they kind of approach it in a way where like you kind of feel nothing's gonna get done, actually, you know. So it's so, because you get that, but with all of this, the performances, right? The performances from, you know, Libby and Evan, I think they really anchor this film, right? Because you are watching it and you can't doubt what's being said, right? You can't doubt the emotions, right? Because you feel this struggle, you feel this love, right? You feel this inability to survive, this inability to be effective, right? There's a steel, right? There's a steel in Daphne. And sometimes you see it in Will, sometimes you're just like, you're a wet paper bag. But all of this is so palpable on the screen, right? It's pretty fucking phenomenal, right? These performances are just something else. Like, you're just like, how the fuck do you get yourself there, right? How can you put over this sort of performance, because it's so raw, right? I think these two must be like having to speak to a therapist right now, because yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then like MacLeod Andrews, this character, Jesus Christ, it's all over the place. It's all over the place, which then you kind of feel, that's even tougher to play, because it's like 1 minute you're this, the next minute you're something else. It's like just jumping around, you know? So we get these really strong performances. The supporting cast as well. Everyone really holds it down. So we get this crazy, fascinating story, she's kind of walking in the shadows, people. You know what I mean? This feels like it's the cracks between reality, right? What we are seeing. This isn't the real world, right? This is, you know, the shadows, the mirror, you know what I mean? And it's so compelling. But I think it kind of speaks to that struggle, which a load of people face, right? It's whether you can pick yourself up and fight, right? Do you do that day after day after day? Do you let yourself be consumed by it all, right? What's that choice? And that's what this film kind of gives you, right? Do you let yourself fall into addiction? Do you make these half promises that you kind of feel, okay, if I can't do it, fine. I at least I said, you know what I mean? It's all of that. It's all of that and so much more. You know, and Perry gives us these shots, right? These close-ups that really bring you into the intimacy of these scenes, and the way like certain things are filmed, like the conversation under the bed, just things like that. It becomes really personal. And I think that's the real strength of When I Consume You. That it's this haunting kind of psychological horror tinged mystery, but it's also this personal journey, right? Journey of discovery, journey of strength, right? It's just all of these things, wrapped up into roughly about a 90-minute kind of piece. And you don't feel shortchanged at the end of it, right? There's definitely things that you're wondering about, but yeah, you're like, whew, you know what I mean? You definitely feel like you've been through something once this is all said and done. So I will say, people, look, if you enjoy a good horror flick, right? I think at last year's, I think it was Final Girls, right? We had a film, I think it was like I'm Not Your Mother, something like that, right? I mean, if you enjoyed that, you'll definitely enjoy this. There was that other crazy one. I think it's like We're All Going to is it the county fair or something, right? Crazy, weird. If you enjoyed that, you will enjoy When I Consume You. You know what I mean? It's weird, but it is very powerful, right? Very thought provoking, people. I would say, look, hey, if psychological horror is your thing, you will like When I Consume You for sure. And very impressive for the third feature. Man, I want to see more what Perry does. Though, it's got to be a daytime watch. But yeah, it's out on all your favorite VODs, people. So give it